What happens when you die? As with many things in life, I think we're tempted to believe that we know more about this than we actually do from our own experience. All of us have seen death portrayed in so many ways and so many times in film, on television, in newspaper accounts and books and novels. But how much do we really know about what happens when you die? The poet Dylan Thomas went into a coma that killed him on his 39th birthday. But 6 years before that, while he was traveling with his wife and children in Italy, he wrote a poem that has a profound impact on how we understand death. I'm going to read it right now. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. The wise men at their end know dark is right. Because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my Father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. I remember reading this poem as a young person and seeing the truth in it. The truth that every moment has so much potential for us to make a great life. How important it is that we don't waste our time, but we get down to what really matters. But the older I get, the more I see death in a very different light. Yesterday, I was with a friend of mine. We've been friends for 20 years and we love each other dearly. And he's dying of cancer. And so I went there to say goodbye to a dear friend one last time. And there was so much possible in that moment that just isn't possible in normal life. Normally, we wouldn't have held hands. But the entire time I was visiting with him, he held my hand and I held his. We had a chance to really speak honestly with each other, not beat around the bush, but talk about what really matters. I told him how much I wished that I could have asked him more questions about his life, about what he knew, that there were so many things there just wasn't time for. I anointed his head with oil, and we prayed together, and we said our last goodbye. And when I walked out of the hospital into the setting sunlight, I just started weeping. Not composed tear coming down my face, but kind of a sobbing weeping where I was looking around to see if anybody was seeing what was happening to me. And what was I crying about? I think I was crying about the lost possibilities, all the things that we could have done together, the possibilities of exploring new places, understanding new things about each other. And that moment too, I had a sense for just how precious every moment of our life is. And so I was actually weeping about the beauty and the goodness of life too. I've been with so many people as they stood on the threshold of death. And I, like everybody else, I have no idea what happens to you when you die, but I do have a strong sense of God's holy presence in that moment of transition. I have a sense of God's love for us. I have a sense that all of us, with all the people that we've ever loved, all of us will be reunited in God's love and grace. And that those things that are broken and unreconciled and seem impossible to fix will find peace in God at the last. My name is Malcolm Clemens Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral here in San Francisco, California. Thanks for watching More Good News.